The AI chip war explained. Why TSMC, Samsung, and Intel control our future. TSMC versus Samsung versus Intel, the AI chip war explained. If artificial intelligence is the brain of the future, semiconductors are its beating heart. Every ChatGPT prompt, every AI-generated image, every self-driving car decision, and every recommendation on your favorite app ultimately depends on tiny pieces of silicon no larger than your fingernail. And right now, 3 companies are fighting to control the future of those chips. TSMC, Samsung, Intel. This isn't just a corporate rivalry. It's an economic battle worth trillions of dollars. It's a geopolitical chess match involving the United States, China, Taiwan, and South Korea. And it may determine who leads the next era of artificial intelligence. The companies you've never heard of that run AI. Most people think companies like Nvidia, OpenAI, Google, or Apple build AI. That's only partly true. Nvidia designs AI chips. Google designs TPUs. Apple designs neural engines. But designing a chip is very different from manufacturing one. Only a handful of companies on Earth can actually build the world's most advanced semiconductors. And the top 3 are TSMC, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company, the undisputed king of chip manufacturing; Samsung Foundry, the ambitious challenger with enormous resources; Intel Foundry, America's comeback story attempting to reclaim lost leadership. Together, they manufacture the processors powering the AI revolution. Without them, there is no AI boom. The invisible supply chain. Imagine designing the world's fastest Formula One car. You create the blueprint, but only 3 factories on Earth can actually build the engine. That's the semiconductor industry. Nvidia designs the famous GPUs that train AI. But those GPUs are mostly manufactured by TSMC. AMD relies heavily on TSMC. Apple's M-series chips come from TSMC. Google uses TSMC for many of its TPUs. Qualcomm uses TSMC. Even companies exploring alternatives still depend on these elite foundries. The world's AI software giants are increasingly dependent on a tiny group of manufacturers concentrated in Asia. That concentration creates both incredible efficiency and enormous risk. TSMC, the silent giant. For decades, TSMC focused on one thing: making chips for everyone else. It never competed directly with customers. It simply became the best manufacturer in the world. That strategy worked. Today, TSMC produces the majority of advanced AI processors used globally. Its factories operate with astonishing precision. Yield rates are among the industry's best. Major customers often reserve production years in advance. TSMC's advanced packaging technologies have become especially important for AI chips. Modern AI accelerators combine multiple chiplets and massive amounts of high-bandwidth memory into one package. Building these systems is incredibly difficult. TSMC mastered it earlier than rivals. As AI demand exploded, TSMC found itself at the center of the world's most valuable supply chain. The company has even warned that AI demand may exceed industry capacity for years. Samsung, the challenger. Samsung isn't just a smartphone company. It's one of the largest semiconductor manufacturers in history. Unlike TSMC, Samsung does many things at once. It builds memory chips. It manufactures processors. It sells consumer electronics. It produces displays. Its foundry business aims to challenge TSMC directly. Samsung was among the first to move aggressively toward next-generation transistor technologies, such as gate-all-around designs. It is investing heavily in advanced nodes and American manufacturing facilities. Recent reports suggest that major technology companies are increasingly considering Samsung to diversify production away from TSMC. Google has reportedly discussed manufacturing portions of future AI chips with Samsung. Reuters. Samsung's biggest advantage? Memory. AI systems consume enormous amounts of high-bandwidth memory. Samsung already dominates much of the global memory market. If it combines that strength with competitive manufacturing, it could become a much bigger force in AI. Intel, America's second chance. 20 years ago, Intel was the undisputed king. Its processors powered most of the world's computers. Then it stumbled. Manufacturing delays allowed TSMC to leap ahead. Many believed Intel had permanently lost the race. But AI changed everything. The United States suddenly realized something alarming. Most advanced chips were manufactured overseas. That dependence became a national security concern. Intel responded with a dramatic strategy shift. Instead of building only its own processors, it opened its factories to outside customers. This initiative became Intel Foundry. The company invested billions in new fabrication plants. It introduced advanced technologies like ribbon FET and PowerVia. And it positioned itself as America's answer to Asian manufacturing dominance. Reports indicate companies such as Google are exploring Intel as an alternative supplier as TSMC capacity tightens under AI demand. Reuters. Intel's comeback is far from guaranteed. But for the first time in years, it is back in the fight. Why Taiwan matters so much. Taiwan occupies a unique place in the global economy. The island produces an enormous share of advanced logic chips used worldwide. TSMC's headquarters and many of its most advanced fabs remain there. This creates what analysts sometimes call the Silicon Shield. Because if Taiwan's semiconductor production were disrupted, the consequences would be felt everywhere. Cloud computing, smartphones, automotive manufacturing, military systems, medical devices, artificial intelligence. The entire global economy depends on uninterrupted semiconductor flows. That reality has transformed Taiwan from a regional issue into one of the world's most strategically important locations. The US-China technology Cold War. The semiconductor race is no longer purely commercial. It has become geopolitical. The United States wants to maintain leadership in advanced AI. China wants technological self-sufficiency. Export restrictions limit China's access to the most advanced manufacturing technologies. American policymakers are investing heavily in domestic production. China is investing hundreds of billions into building its own semiconductor ecosystem. Meanwhile, Taiwan seeks stability. South Korea protects its technological champions. Japan rebuilds semiconductor capabilities. Europe launches initiatives to increase local production. Everyone wants a piece of the future. Because whoever controls advanced chips may influence the next generation of AI innovation. Why this matters to you? You may never buy a semiconductor wafer. But this war affects almost everything you use. It determines how quickly AI improves, whether AI services become cheaper, how expensive future smartphones and laptops become, which countries dominate future industries, whether supply chain disruptions trigger shortages, how fast breakthroughs in healthcare, robotics, and science arrive. The AI revolution isn't only about software models. It's about physical infrastructure. Behind every intelligent machine sits a factory. Behind every breakthrough sits a supply chain. And behind every AI assistant sits silicon. Final thoughts. The real winner. People often ask, who will win? TSMC? Samsung? Intel? The truth is more complicated. The world probably cannot afford for only one company to dominate. TSMC brings unmatched execution. Samsung brings scale and memory leadership. Intel brings geographic diversification and American manufacturing strength. Competition drives innovation. Redundancy improves resilience. Choice reduces risk. The real winner may not be any single company. It may be the entire AI ecosystem. Because the future of artificial intelligence won't be decided only by the smartest algorithms. It will also be decided by who can build the tiny chips that make those algorithms possible. The next great AI breakthrough may begin not in a data center, but inside a semiconductor fab. And that's why the AI chip war matters to everyone. TSMC versus Samsung versus Intel versus Nvidia versus Qualcomm. The next phase of the AI chip war. The first chapter of the AI revolution belonged to software. The next chapter belongs to silicon. And this time, the stakes are much bigger. This isn't simply about who builds the fastest processor. It's about who controls the infrastructure of intelligence itself. The winner could shape the future of machine learning, robotics, autonomous vehicles, healthcare, defense systems, and perhaps even the global balance of power. The first AI war was about models. Between 2022 and 2025, the world became obsessed with AI models. OpenAI launched ChatGPT. Google accelerated Gemini. Anthropic introduced Claude. Meta open-sourced Llama. Everyone focused on algorithms. But something unexpected happened. Training these increasingly sophisticated models required enormous computational power. A modern frontier AI model can require tens of thousands of GPUs working simultaneously for months. Inference, the act of answering billions of user queries, demands even more chips. Suddenly, the world's biggest bottleneck wasn't software. It was hardware. The companies that could manufacture AI chips became the new gatekeepers of innovation. The AI stack. Who actually does what? Many people confuse chip companies because they all operate in different parts of the ecosystem. Think of AI as building a city. Nvidia, the architect of AI compute. Nvidia designs the GPUs that became the engines of modern machine learning. Its CUDA software ecosystem transformed graphics processors into AI supercomputers. Today, nearly every major AI lab depends heavily on Nvidia hardware. Without Nvidia, the generative AI explosion might have happened years later. But Nvidia doesn't manufacture most of its own chips. It designs them. Others build them. TSMC, the master builder. TSMC is the factory behind much of the AI world. It manufactures chips designed by Nvidia, AMD, Apple, Qualcomm, Broadcom, Google, Amazon, MediaTek. Its strength isn't flashy consumer branding. It's execution, consistent yields, massive scale, advanced packaging, supply chain reliability. For years, TSMC has been the default answer whenever companies ask, who can actually manufacture this chip? That trust is incredibly difficult to replace. Samsung, the sleeping giant. Samsung may be the most underestimated player in AI. Unlike TSMC, Samsung controls multiple layers of the semiconductor stack. It manufactures logic chips, memory chips, smartphones, displays, consumer devices. Most importantly, Samsung is one of the world's largest memory producers. And AI loves memory. Modern machine learning systems depend heavily on high-bandwidth memory (HBM). HBM determines how quickly AI accelerators move data. Without sufficient memory bandwidth, even powerful GPUs slow down. Samsung has recently accelerated HBM4 shipments to regain momentum in AI infrastructure. This gives Samsung a strategic advantage TSMC doesn't possess. TSMC dominates logic. Samsung can potentially dominate both logic and memory. Intel, America's comeback story. Intel understands that this may be its final opportunity. After losing manufacturing leadership, it spent years rebuilding. Now it wants to become America's semiconductor champion. Intel Foundry offers US-based manufacturing, advanced packaging, 18A process technology, government support, supply chain diversification. The company is increasingly being viewed as an alternative when TSMC capacity becomes constrained. Reports suggest companies such as Google and Nvidia are evaluating Intel's foundry capabilities as AI demand surges. Intel no longer needs to beat TSMC everywhere. It only needs to become good enough for large customers seeking alternatives. Qualcomm, the edge AI king. While everyone focuses on data centers, Qualcomm sees another future. AI running locally, on your laptop, inside your smartphone, in your car, at the edge. Instead of sending every query to massive cloud servers, future devices may process AI directly. This reduces latency, improves privacy, cuts costs. Qualcomm's NPUs already power billions of devices. If edge AI becomes dominant, Qualcomm could become one of the biggest winners of the next decade. The future of machine learning. The machine learning revolution is changing. Phase 1. Bigger models. The industry believed bigger meant better. More parameters, more GPUs, more data centers. This produced ChatGPT-like breakthroughs. But it also created problems. A rising energy costs, a GPU shortages, a limited accessibility, massive infrastructure expenses. Phase 2. Efficient intelligence. The future appears different. Researchers increasingly prioritize smaller models, specialized accelerators, sparse architectures, on-device AI, a low-power inference, domain-specific chips. Instead of one giant AI model serving everyone, we may see millions of optimized models running everywhere. Your refrigerator, your car, your factory, your smartwatch, your hospital equipment. AI won't live only in the cloud. It will exist all around us. Can Samsung actually overtake TSMC? This is the trillion-dollar question. The answer is yes, but only under certain conditions. Why Samsung could win? 1. TSMC is running near capacity. AI demand is exploding faster than manufacturing expansion. TSMC has struggled to satisfy all orders. Customers increasingly seek secondary suppliers. 2. Samsung controls memory. HBM has become critical. Samsung already possesses enormous memory expertise. Combining HBM leadership with foundry improvements creates powerful synergies. 3. Gate-all-around leadership. Samsung aggressively adopted GAA transistor technology. If execution improves, future process nodes could become highly competitive. 4. Major customer wins. Samsung has reportedly discussed next-generation foundry collaborations with Nvidia. Google is also exploring Samsung participation for future AI infrastructure. Even a handful of major contracts could shift momentum dramatically. Why TSMC still leads? Despite Samsung's opportunities, overtaking TSMC remains extremely difficult. TSMC possesses advantages built over decades. Customer trust. Companies stake billions of dollars on manufacturing decisions. Failure can delay entire product launches. TSMC consistently delivers. Ecosystem effects. Design libraries. Packaging expertise. Engineering relationships. Software optimization. Manufacturing support. These advantages compound over time. Superior yields. Higher yields reduce costs. Lower costs attract customers. More customers improve scale. Scale improves yields. TSMC benefits from a self-reinforcing cycle. Breaking that cycle requires near-perfect execution. The Nvidia question. Could Nvidia itself become a manufacturer? Probably not. Building advanced fabs requires hundreds of billions of dollars. Nvidia excels at architecture, software ecosystems, developer tools, AI platforms. Its strength lies in enabling the ecosystem, not replacing foundries. Instead, Nvidia will likely continue diversifying manufacturing partners. TSMC today, potentially Samsung tomorrow, possibly Intel in selective areas. Its goal isn't loyalty. Its goal is uninterrupted supply. The real future. Nobody wins alone. The semiconductor industry is entering a new era. The future AI ecosystem may look like this. Nvidia dominates AI architectures and software. TSMC remains the premium manufacturing leader. Samsung becomes the strongest challenger through memory and foundry integration. Intel rebuilds Western manufacturing resilience. Qualcomm powers edge AI across billions of devices. Google, Amazon, Microsoft build custom accelerators optimized for their own services. The winner won't control everything. The ecosystem is becoming too large, too important, too global. The next 10 years. By 2035, historians may look back and realize the AI revolution wasn't fundamentally about chatbots. It was about the creation of an entirely new computing infrastructure. Just as electricity transformed every industry a century ago, intelligence itself is becoming embedded into every machine. Cars will think. Factories will optimize themselves. Doctors will diagnose with AI companions. Scientists will discover medicines faster. Personal assistants will run continuously beside us. And behind every one of those experiences will be billions of transistors etched onto silicon wafers inside highly secured fabrication plants. The AI chip war isn't simply a battle between TSMC, Samsung, Intel, Nvidia, and Qualcomm. It's a race to determine who builds the nervous system of the intelligent age. The future of machine learning will not be decided only by the smartest algorithms. It will be decided by who can manufacture intelligence at scale. And that race has only just begun.